So, why is Krishna consciousness the highest consciousness? To answer this, let's hear a short story. There was a big multimillionaire who took his son to a fun fair or to an exhibition. Because of the crowd and because of the rush around, the son lost track of where the father is, the father lost track where the son is, and they got separated. The father was looking for the son starts crying for the father, and in this attempt to find each other, there happened to be many people who observed the crying child. The first person came to the child and said, "Oh, probably he's crying because he's very hungry. He might be very thirsty." So he went into a shop and got him a nice sandwich and a nice orange juice. So the child looked at it, but the child continued to cry. The second person came, looked at the child and said, "Oh, maybe the child is feeling too hot or too cold, so let me make him a little comfortable," and gave him the suitable clothes. So the child looked at the clothes but continued to cry. The third person came in and said, "Oh, maybe the child has some stomach problem. I should give him some medicines," and gotten some medicines and offered to the child. The child looked at the medicines, but guess what? Continued to cry. Finally, the fourth person came in, looked at the child, observed him closely, and said, "Hey, wait a minute. You are this multimillionaire's son, isn't it? I know where your father is. I just saw him. I can take you to him." And the child, who had continued to cry for such a long time, heard this and had a big smile on his face. Now there's a question for all of you. Which among these four were the best? The person who came and gave him food, or the person who gave him some clothes, or the third person who came and gave some medicines, or the fourth person who agreed to take him to the father? Obviously the fourth one. For the reason that the child was actually crying not because of the first three, but because he was disconnected from the father, and also for the fact that if he gets back to his father, all these first three needs are satisfied to the fullest extent. So taking that anecdote or that example in practical life, all of us are like lost children in this fun fair called as the material world, where our eternal Father Shri Krishna continues to search for us. But because we are so egoistic and so stubborn in our own endeavor, we don't even make an attempt to search for him, because of which we are sad. Then we meet, by the good fortune of all the Vaishnavas, we meet devotees in our life who agree, like the fourth person, to reconnect us back to our Father, that is Shri Krishna. And this process of reconnecting the souls of this world to their eternal Father through the welfare activity of preaching or Krishna consciousness is the highest consciousness. Because like in this example, the fourth person connected the lost child to the searching father. Similarly, the devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement attempt to reconnect all of us bewildered and lost sons of the same spiritual father back to Shri Krishna through the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, through the message of the scriptures, and through the loud chanting of the holy names. So therefore, in simple terms, we understand that by reconnecting back to Shri Krishna's service, who is our eternal Father, through the process of Krishna consciousness, we get the maximum benefit, and therefore, this is the highest consciousness or the highest welfare activity possible.